Colorado's highest court is ready to take on the fracking debate. The Colorado Supreme Court says it will rule on two cases involving cities that have enacted bans or moratoriums on hydraulic fracturing. 7 News reporter Russell Haythorne is live outside Longmont right now. And Russell, that city has had a ban for 3 years now.
Yeah, and the ban had a lot to do with this reservoir. At the time, there were 3 proposed wells around the reservoir, which some argued would contaminate the water. Was it a scare tactic by fractivists or a real threat? Now, the Supreme Court will decide. Many are still undecided whether fracking is bad for the environment.
We only had a month to stop a train wreck.
But Kay Fissinger isn't one of them.
If there's a leak or spill or anything like that, there's the risk of contaminating this water.
She led the charge to ban fracking in Longmont in 2012, largely because of proposed wells that were infringing on Union Reservoir at the time.
One over about there, another one up around there.
She is determined and driven and supports the Supreme Court's decision to weigh in on the issue.
It's long past time. Property rights are in the Constitution, but so are people's rights.
But the other side is just as determined and driven to prove that fractivism is overhyped and unfounded. In a statement today, the Colorado Oil and Gas Association said, "We look forward to the Supreme Court putting further clarification that the ban implemented in Longmont and the Fort Collins moratorium are preempted by current law and thus illegal. We will continue to do the difficult and unsexy work of finding reasonable and workable solutions with our friends and neighbors." Fissinger isn't buying it.
Okay.
Do you consider Koga a friend or a neighbor?
No, absolutely not. They're not about making peace with the communities. They're all about dominating the communities.
In both of these cases, the lower courts ruled against the cities and in favor of drilling. All sides now have 6 weeks to get their arguments together, which means the Supreme Court could hear this case in early November. Live in Longmont, Russell Haythorne, 7 News.
And we'll certainly stay on top of that. Thank you, Russell. Now, earlier this year, the White House announced new rules for fracking. They mostly involve wastewater disposal standards on public and tribal lands intended to help protect groundwater. So drillers now have to make sure the wells and cement barriers are structurally sound. They'll also have to publicly disclose the chemicals they use.